The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Chapter 15, The Strange Lands to the South. On the second day of the journey south, Dorothy and her friends passed through an airy forest. At the edge of the forest, they came to a wall. The wall went in both directions for as far as the eye could see. The wall was white, shiny, and smooth, like the surface of a dish. It was about 5 meters high.
"What shall we do now?"
asked Dorothy.
"I will make a ladder,"
said the Tin Man. The first one up the ladder was the Scarecrow. When the Scarecrow reached the top, he said,
"Oh my, this is amazing!"
The others quickly followed him up the ladder, and all were amazed by what they saw. There were many brightly painted houses made of porcelain. Each was quite small, the biggest being only as high as Dorothy's waist. There were also pretty little barns with white porcelain fences, and many porcelain cows, sheep, horses, pigs, and chickens. The porcelain people were both strange and beautiful.
"We must cross this strange place to get to the other side,"
said Dorothy.
"It would be unwise for us to go in any direction but south."
They walked through the land, and they came to a pretty porcelain milkmaid milking a cow. The cow gave a sudden kick. The stool, the pail, and the milkmaid were knocked over. Dorothy was shocked to see that the cow had broken its leg. The milkmaid shouted at them angrily.
"Look what you have done!"
"We must be very careful,"
said the Tin Man.
"Everything is easily broken."
Dorothy thought all these porcelain creatures were beautiful. When she saw a princess, she followed her. The princess started to run, and Dorothy kept following.
"Don't chase me!"
yelled the princess.
"Why not?"
asked Dorothy.
"Because if I run, I might fall and break,"
answered the princess.
"But you could be mended,"
replied Dorothy.
"Yes, but I would not be as pretty after being mended,"
said the princess.
"I think you are very beautiful. Will you come with me to Kansas?"
asked Dorothy.
"If I leave this land, I will turn into solid porcelain,"
said the princess.
"That would make me very unhappy."
"Oh, I didn't know,"
said Dorothy.
"I wouldn't want that to happen."
Dorothy and the princess waved goodbye. Soon the travelers came to another wall, and they climbed over it.
"This forest is perfectly delightful,"
said the lion.
"Never have I seen a more beautiful place."
"It seems gloomy,"
said the Scarecrow.
"Not to me,"
replied the lion.
"The ground looks soft, and the moss is so green. I would like to live here for the rest of my life."
"Perhaps there are animals that live here,"
said Dorothy.
"Perhaps,"
said the lion.
"but I do not see any of them."
They had walked only a little farther when they came to the greatest gathering of wild beasts they had ever seen.
"Welcome, King of the Beasts,"
said a tiger.
"Have you come to fight the monster?"
"What monster?"
asked the lion. The tiger described a spider-like creature as large as an elephant. The lion thought for a moment and asked,
"Are there any other lions in this forest?"
"Not now,"
answered the tiger.
"The monster has eaten them."
"If I kill this monster for you, will you bow before me and call me your king?"
asked the lion.
"We will,"
roared all the animals at once. The monster was sleeping when the lion found it, and it was as ugly as the tiger had described. The lion saw the monster's weakness. It had a large head that was connected to a large body by a slender neck. The lion jumped, landed on the monster's back, and used his large paw to knock the monster's head from its body. The lion returned, and the animals gave a great cheer.
"I have killed the monster,"
the lion declared. All the animals bowed before their new king.
"Now I must help Dorothy return to Kansas,"
said the lion.
"After that, I will return."
The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Chapter 16, The Journey Home. The next morning, the travelers passed through the forest and came to a steep hill.
That will be a difficult climb,
Said the Scarecrow.
but over it we must go.
He had started up the hill when a rough voice said,
Keep back!
Who are you?
asked the Scarecrow.
This hill belongs to us. You cannot cross it.
Said the voice again.
But we must cross it.
Said the Scarecrow.
You will not.
Said a flat-headed, armless creature. The Scarecrow did not fear such a helpless creature, so he continued up the hill. The creature's head struck the Scarecrow like a hammer, and the Scarecrow went tumbling down the hill. The hammerhead called down,
Climbing the hill won't be as easy as you think.
As Dorothy helped the Scarecrow up, the Tin Man suggested.
Let's call the winged monkeys. You can command them once more.
Everyone thought it was an excellent idea. Dorothy put on the golden hat, spread her arms, and said,
By my command!
A moment later, the king landed, bowed, and said,
What do you command?
Take us to the castle of Glinda, the Good Witch of the South.
She answered.
It shall be done.
Answered the king. He and his monkeys picked up the travelers and flew them south. The king and his followers dropped Dorothy and her friends off in front of Glinda's castle. Before the gate were 3 beautiful girls dressed in red. As Dorothy approached, one of the girls asked, "Why have you come to Glinda's castle?"
To see the Good Witch.
Answered Dorothy. "What is your name?" "I will find out if she will see you," said the girl. Dorothy and her friends gave their names, and soon they were admitted. They were taken to a room in which a beautiful woman sat upon a ruby throne.
What can I do for you, my child?
Asked Glinda.
My greatest wish is to return to Kansas.
Answered Dorothy.
I can tell you how,
Said Glinda.
but I will need the golden hat.
You can have it.
Said Dorothy gladly.
Thank you.
Said Glinda, taking the hat from Dorothy.
I think I will need its 3 commands. What will you do when Dorothy leaves?
Glinda asked the Scarecrow.
I will return to the Emerald City.
Answered the Scarecrow.
I can help.
Said Glinda.
My first command to the winged monkeys will be for them to bring you there.
Thank you.
Said the Scarecrow.
What will you do when Dorothy leaves?
Glinda asked the Tin Man.
I think the Winkies need me.
Said the Tin Man.
I would like to return to the land of the West.
My second command to the winged monkeys will be for them to take you there.
Said Glinda.
Thank you.
Said the Tin Man.
What will you do when Dorothy leaves?
Glinda asked the Lion.
I will return to the forest where the animals have made me their king.
Answered the Lion.
My third command to the winged monkeys will be for them to take you there.
Said Glinda.
Thank you.
Said the Lion.
To the king of the monkeys, I will give the golden hat.
Said Glinda.
He has earned his freedom.
Thank you for your kindness and for helping my friends.
Said Dorothy.
But how will I get to Kansas?
Your silver shoes will take you there.
Said Glinda.
Just click the heels 3 times and tell the shoes where you want to go.
Dorothy turned to the Good Witch and said,
Thank you for helping me and my friends return home.
The Good Witch smiled as Dorothy hugged each of her friends. Then Dorothy held Toto in her arms and clicked the heels of her shoes 3 times.
I want to go home,
she said. Suddenly, everything began to spin. When Dorothy opened her eyes, she saw Aunt Em sitting next to her.
You're back,
Said Aunt Em.
Yes, it took me so long,
Said Dorothy.
I didn't know what the shoes could do.
Shoes? asked Aunt Em.
Yes, the silver shoes from the witch,
answered Dorothy. There's no witch, said Aunt Em. But the cyclone nearly killed you. You are a very lucky girl.
But it wasn't a dream,
shouted Dorothy. Dream or no dream, said Aunt Em. I'm glad you're back.